This is it. This is the sixth and final video. That fifth one was a bit of a doozy, but I hope not too heavy and that it was helpful. I hope all of these have been helpful for you to think through what the next year or few years with your group are really going to look like, what kind of community you're going to have, how to best create an environment for them to develop an authentic faith of their own. In the previous 5 videos, we went from the most basic of ideas, like knowing someone's name, to some of the deepest conversations that you're ever going to have with students regarding their doubts and failures and mistakes and regrets and trauma. So if you're looking for a little pick-me-up after the heavy questions last week, then I have good news for you. The question today is way more fun and optimistic, way more inspirational. The last question is, do you know what I can do? Jesus knew what Zacchaeus could do. Jesus wasn't just interested in what Zacchaeus had done. He was also interested and believed in what Zacchaeus could do. See, Jesus believed Zacchaeus had the potential to be generous. Jesus knew the influence and the impact Zacchaeus could have if he would change his priorities around. And if Jesus didn't treat Zacchaeus like he knew what he could do, would Zacchaeus have ever made the drastic life change that he did? So do you know what your students can do? Do your students know that you know what they can do? Have you ever had somebody who just believed in you? Somebody who believed you could do more or better than you ever thought that you could? Someone who could speak truth into you and inspire you to be more, to try harder, to see clearer than you had before? I mentioned mine in the first video, this guy named Craig Knisley. And when I met him, I was a pretty quiet 9th grader who didn't really speak up much, kept to himself. I never really thought of myself as a leader, and I didn't really think that I had a ton to offer. Enter Craig, who pushed me and challenged me and seemed to see something in me that I couldn't really see in myself. Now, there's no chance that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, or that I would have done so much of what I've done in the past 15 years, 20 years of my life, if not for what Craig saw in me that I just didn't see. Being that voice in the lives of our few can be one of the most important things that we can do for them. Throughout middle school and high school, there is so much time and energy and effort spent trying to figure out who we are, where do we fit, where do we have influence, where can we be ourselves, what kinds of impacts can we have in our world. And the reality is that the adults around teenagers can often see their gifts and their strengths clearer than the teenagers can see in themselves. So for us to make it personal for our students, we need to be able to help them recognize what they can do. The first piece that I want to talk about are helping us recognize the 3 questions that your students are asking, usually subconsciously, that we can help them answer. Number 1, does someone believe in my dreams? Number 2, do you believe I have what it takes? And number 3, do you believe I can do something meaningful? Sometimes the dreams of our teenagers are realistic and sometimes they're out of this world. But what does it look like for us to help our students know that we're always in their corner? That we're always on their team, that we believe they can do important and impactful things. What does it look like to be a teenager who has adults that are so invested in their lives and they believe that they can make a difference? What I want to spend a little bit more time on are 3 statements when it comes to this question of what can I do? Now, these are 3 things that we want to help students believe about themselves. Number 1, I can do good. How can we help them understand, despite their mistakes, that they can do good things? That they can have an influence and make an impact in their world? That God never wants to stop doing amazing things through them? That they have gifts, that they have strengths? This is where you're always quick to compliment. Good game. Great story, even if you're not so sure it was. How cool when they talk about their Fortnite solo win or something else that you might not really care that much about. Great job when they talk about something that they did at school. That's the kind of feedback from an adult who isn't their parent that makes a really big deal and gains trust in a relationship with the student. I'd even encourage you to take that to the next level. Instead of just praising their achievement, try to praise a part of their character too. So don't just talk about their accomplishment. Talk about the attributes that they have that led them to those achievements. See, when teenagers believe they can do good, there's a self-esteem boost there. There's a confidence and more of a willingness to step in and do good when they see the opportunities to do so. We believe that our few can do good things. Yes, even that one kid. We believe he can do good things. She can do good things. But when we don't just encourage them to do those things, but we remind them that they're able to do them, it helps give them the confidence to actually follow through. The next thing that you want them to believe about themselves is that I can love somebody. We want them to believe that they can love somebody and that they can be loved regardless of what they've done or regardless of what other people have done. The best way to do this is to show them so much love that they don't feel like they have to hoard it, that they have so much that they can give some of it away. And we have to model what this looks like, to be intentional about how we talk about it. Sometimes helping a teenager know that you will love them is that you just have fun with them, that you have joy when you're around them, that you act like you're excited to see them. And sadly, church might be one of the only places that some teenagers actually see this modeled, which makes it even more important for us to do. The last one is that we want to help students believe I can change. One of the most hopeless places to be is a place where you believe that someone will never change or that you'll never change. But we believe in God incarnate Jesus, who came to this earth, who showed us who the Father is, who went all the way to the grave for us, rose again, and his Spirit is available to us and is working in us, not to just do good, but to love people as Jesus commanded. Regardless of what they've done, we need to help them believe that they can change. It's also something that we need to help them believe about other people, that despite the choices other people have made, their parents, their friends, that change is possible. Now, it may not be something they can change overnight or without the help of the Holy Spirit, but we have to help them to believe that change is possible and that the power of God is greater than any habit or mistake that they've made. There it is. So for us to help this generation develop an authentic faith, we have to help this faith be personal to them. For this faith to be personal for them, they need to see that faith lived out by people who are personal to them. Now, there is plenty that we can teach them about faith without getting personal, but just knowing doesn't lead to life change. What does it look like for us to continue to make faith personal in the lives of our students? Just like I said in the first video, everybody needs someone to see them like Jesus does. Anyone might be able to say these things to them, to teach them something, but it matters more when it comes from someone who knows their name, who knows what matters to them, who knows where they live, who knows what they've done, and who knows what they can do. I hope these have really been helpful for you. I'm really looking forward to our opportunity to jump in a Q&A where I can give some thoughts or ask questions about the questions that you ask me, and for us to process a little bit more, what does it look like for us to help the next generation develop an authentic faith of their own and for us to make that faith personal in their lives? So I'll see you soon.